Hey everybody, welcome to the Blue Collar Beer Gentleman. I'm Topher. I'm a fan of craft beer, and I started this channel because I'm also on a limited budget and I wanted to demonstrate it was possible to enjoy good quality beers without having to break the bank. So I'm always looking for the best deal on beers, and I think I found a pretty good one today. I paid $2.99 originally. This would have gone for $3.99 for this pint can of Thunder Island Brewing's Amarillo Pillow Pale Ale. I'll bring it around to the side that shows the actual side of the listing, the name of the beer. But that is that's the brewer's logo right there. Let's get a nice good view of that. You can see Thunder Island. They are located in Cascade Locks, Oregon. Not too terribly far from the greater Portland area. As I said, I paid $2.99 for this. Normally it would come in at $3.99. I picked this up at Belmont Station, which is located at 4500 Southeast Stark here in Portland, Oregon. Great place. Definitely want to recommend these guys. For one, they have prices listed on all of their beers. Two, the prices are good. I was able to find some 12-ounce cans for as little as $1.99, and I've had some great difficulty in finding beers around that price point here in Portland, so I'm very happy to have found Belmont Station, and I will definitely be getting more beers from there. In fact, the next 11 beers after this one will all be coming from that retailer, so I definitely want to give them a huge shout out. Great guys, very helpful. Friendly, clean place, and best of all, prices on all the beers. I think it's very difficult to find among a lot of craft beer places. So, I believe this beer at the time of this recording is 7 months old. I'm having a little trouble reading the printing on the bottom of the can that gives the canned on date, so I think it's around 7 months. This is a pale ale which comes in at a 4.2 ABV. Typically American pale ales come in between 4.5 and 6.2 on the ABV scale, so this is actually even low for a pale ale. This is almost a session pale ale, you could call it. 26 IBUs. Typically American pale ales come in between 30 and 50 IBUs, which actually brings this a little closer to the British pale ale bitterness scale. What usually sets apart just about any American variety of a beer that came from another place is the addition of hops, whether we're talking stouts or pale ales. In fact, the hoppy pale ale basically is an American phenomenon. You don't really see that in other countries, apparently, from what I've been catching on some of the international brewing blogs. So, the point being that this coming in so low on the IBU scale does bring it closer to almost a British pale ale. They have not listed it as a British pale ale, so I'm still going to refer to this as an American pale ale. One more quick note. This does have the Brewers Association Independent Craft Certified logo on here. Nancy will try and get that video or that image up at a later time. We've been having some technical difficulties, but hopefully that will come through and you'll be able to see that. When you see that upside down beer bottle with the word independent nice and clear, you know that you've got a actual micro beer, not a faux craft beer that's owned by a larger macro brewer. Just because a beer does not have that label does not mean that they're not independent, but when you see that, you can rest assured. Now, getting back to this specific beer, 0 of my friends on Untappd have checked in on this beer. Only 142 of us have checked in and have given it a cumulative score of 3.57. No rankings whatsoever on Beer Advocate. I've got to believe that this is a fairly recent beer, and I'm wondering if it didn't sell particularly well, because as I said, it was on sale for an entire $1 off. Went from being $3.99 to $2.99, so, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad thing. Just maybe the retailer was trying to free up space on the retail shelves. So just because a beer is on sale or just because something's on clearance doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad thing. And this is pouring nice and golden. I'm going to call this a golden straw, almost translucent. Not well, actually, the more it sits there and sits there, it actually develops almost a haziness. This is almost a hazy pale ale, which you don't really encounter too very frequently. I'm going to describe this as medium-high carbonation. In fact, I'm going to just go ahead and call this high carbonation. Lots and lots of tiny little micro bubbles popping up from the bottom. The head is not particularly resilient. Well, it's not particularly strong. It does seem to be fairly resilient. Not much in the way of lacing. We've only got a 4.2 ABV, so I'm not surprised about that at all. Smells very fruity, almost pineapple-y. I'm getting sort of grapefruit and pineapple. I would say would be the two predominant aromas that are coming off of this bouquet. Yeah, very fruity. Getting maybe just a little bit of that biscuity, which you sometimes get with a pale ale. but not a whole lot. The thing about an American Pale Ale is that it's so many variations. It can be grassy, but it doesn't have to be. It can be hoppy, but it doesn't have to be. It can have a fruit component, but it doesn't have to. If you look up the characteristics of an American Pale Ale and BJCP, Beer Judging Certification Programs website, you'll see all the things that an American Pale Ale can be, but doesn't have to be. Well, I'm going to quit yapping my flap, and we're going to get some beer drinking done here. Cheers. I'm going to describe it as a medium-high mouthfeel, a little bit of spikiness to it, not particularly surprised considering how much I was noting pineapple and grapefruit on the notes. Very crisp. The fruit definitely comes through more on the bouquet than it does on the flavor, but it does have a nice, very nice balance of hop and malt, and this is all congealing into a really, really nice beer. I don't know why this got such lukewarm scores. 3.57 on Untapped amongst 142 reviews. I think you guys are being a little too unkind to this. I think the deal is it's still, and after tasting it though, it's just, I think you guys are expecting hoppy pale ales, and I think that was why it's got these lower scores. This is going to be a lot closer to a British pale ale. If you like British pale ales, not necessarily more than American pale ales, but if you enjoy a British pale ale as well as an American, I think you're going to like this beer. It's crisp, it's just got the lightest bit of sweetness. It's obviously not overly boozy. I mean, no alcohol burn, 4.2 ABV. I was not expecting one. It's sort of a creamy aftertaste, nice little spikiness in the beginning. I think this is a great beer. I'm actually going to give this beer, honestly, I think the beer itself deserves a 4.25 because it arrived in a can. It's going to get that extra 0.25 from me. So for a cumulative score of 4.5 on the Untapped scale, on the 5-point Untapped scale, is what it's going to be getting from me. This is a really good beer. I'm really pleased with this beer, and I'm definitely going to be trying more beers from Thunder Island Brewing. I got to tell you, I'm all around pleased with this. I'm pleased with the beer. I'm pleased with the price that I paid for it. I'm pleased with the bottle shop that I found, Belmont Station. Honestly, great all the way around, and I'm definitely digging this. Well, if you like this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to check out my other channel, Fat 50 and Running a Marathon. Yes, that's right, at the age of 50, which will be happening in about a year and a half, I will be running a marathon. And if you want to watch my progress as I change from this into a runner's body, somebody who's capable of running a marathon without collapsing halfway through, follow my progress there. I try to offer insight on how much struggle I'm going through, try to make it real. What sets me apart is that I'm not a hard body trying to tell you what you should be doing. I'm a soft body who's telling you what I'm doing, what I've done wrong, and what I've done right. So, until next time, drink good beer and don't break the bank doing it. Cheers.